Hey friends, we made it to the end of January with this pantry challenge. Today I'm going to let you know how we did through the month of January, if we're going to continue on into February, and what our plan is. Today I'm also going to share with you some of my favorite recipes that we made this week. So make sure you stay tuned till the end so that you can see what those recipes are and how our food come out. So I'm going to have to admit, and if you watch my other videos, then you will see I've never done a pantry challenge before. I have always been one of those person who goes to Walmart several times a week. I have been several times in the same day before. It's just how I've always lived. I grew up very, very close to a Walmart. There was just no point in keeping everything on hand when the Walmart was right down the road. We would just hop into Walmart. It became kind of like a social thing. It set a bad habit for me as an adult where I was continuously going to the grocery store. So for this pantry challenge, I have pushed it back to going once a week for the month of January. And I gave myself a $25 budget each week for dairy, eggs, and then whatever I had left over would be for like staples to keep them stocked up, like flours and sugars. So we actually made it through the month of January very, very well. It was not as hard as I thought. I stayed under budget every single week for the month of January, even with using my extras from dairy to stock up on staples. I did allow for rollover. So on some, I think there was one week where I only spent 17 of my $25. And so I could roll that $8 over into the next week if I found there was something I really needed. I had that as a buffer, but I only used that once, and that was just to stock up on Declan some snacks because my child is very much a grazer. He likes to snack all day long and just eat small amounts continuously, and even if I cut the snacks out, he still only eats a small amount at a time. So I really like to fill him with some snacks to keep him going. We also did not go out to eat at all for the month of January, which is a major win for us because I'm one of those people who, when we go to town to go grocery shopping, I'm like, the Chick-fil-A's in the same parking lot, let's run through Chick-fil-A and pick up dinner. I don't feel like cooking after spending so much time in Walmart grocery shopping. Also, I have not bought a single soda for the month of January. And I am somebody who has been known to drink 3 or 4 20-ounce sodas a day, especially on days where I worked, because I am a nurse by trade. That is what I normally do. I'm a pediatric nurse, and I work night shift. I've worked night shift almost my entire career. And I would drink a lot of caffeine over night shift to stay awake. And a lot of times my caffeine of choice was a soda. And I'm going to try to keep it up because they're not great for you. This pantry challenge has also given me the ability to really know what we use the most of and what I need to stock up the most on. I always have certain things on hand. Canned vegetables, always on hand. Butter, keep it in my freezer. And flour and sugar I've always had a back stock of, but I've come to realize it's not enough. It's not enough in my back stock to get us through a month. And I really want to keep a back stock of at least 3 months worth of flour and sugar. So now I know what I need to work towards. So that has been super, super helpful. I have found January and this pantry challenge to be so enlightening to me. It has just been mind-blowing how much I've learned about my family and the way we eat and cook in this 1 month. And if you're somebody who is wanting to start prepping or wanting to stock up your pantry and want to have a 3-month or 6-month supply of food on hand, a pantry challenge is an amazing way to go because you really see what do you eat the most of. Now, what are we doing going into the month of February? We are continuing the pantry challenge, but I'm doing it just a little different because I really want to push myself even farther. So I have already went ahead and meal planned my entire month of February and even the first week of March, because the last week of February goes into that week and February really isn't a long month, it's a short month. So I went ahead and included that first week of March in this pantry challenge for my family. I'm going to stick with the $100 budget for the entire month because that was $25 a week. Actually, I have 5 weeks here, so it'd be $125. I'm going to stick with that, but I'm not going to separate it week by week, and basically see if I have learned enough through the month of January to be able to stock my family enough for a month, an entire month. So that's my goal. I want to know if I'm estimating right and if I'm guessing right with how much we use. And I have really bumped up how much we use. Like, I've got pizza scheduled every Friday for the entire month. And I have different breads that I will be making throughout the weeks. And I'm really pushing how much bread we have, because I want to know, even if we use a lot of bread in 1 month, I will have enough flour on hand to meet that need. And so tonight I will go to the grocery store and I will try to get an entire month's worth of flour and sugar for my family, along with cheese. I want to try to get an entire month's worth of cheese, because I can buy it in a big bulk container cheaper than I can buy a little pack every week. Eggs and milk, we will have to go to the store every week or every other week to pick up, and so I will save money for that, so it comes out of our $125. We just do not have a whole lot of fridge space. We definitely don't have a whole lot of freezer space to store those items. So that is my challenge this month. Can I make one grocery store and get enough flour and sugar to last my family an entire month? Am I guessing correctly? And then once I nail that down, then I can increase that to a 3-month supply and always have 3 months of food on hand, because you never know what's going to happen. And while I tend to have a 3-month supply of food on hand, it's not always 3-month supply of the same thing. Here are a few of my favorite recipes from this week. I really hope y'all enjoy them. Okay, friends, we're going to start today with some old-fashioned oatmeal. I'm going to start my pan with it being turned off. I'm going to add in 2 cups of oats, 2 cups of water, and 2 cups of milk. You can do any combination of liquid. You just want twice as much liquid as you have oats. To this, we're also going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons-ish of vanilla. I don't measure vanilla, I pour it with my heart. And then 2 tablespoons of sugar. Once that is together, we're going to stir it up and let it simmer on medium to medium-low heat. You don't want it to burn, you just want it to cook nice and slow. It takes about 15 minutes, and then your oatmeal will be creamy and thick and just the best texture. I love to top mine with some dried granola. This is homemade dried granola that I'm using in this recipe. It is also fantastic with some fresh apple just sliced up and thrown on top with some raisins. That's my favorite way to eat it. Okay, for dinner tonight, we're going to have spaghetti using some leftover spaghetti sauce I have in the freezer. And the best complement to homemade spaghetti is homemade garlic bread. So I'm going to get my spaghetti sauce going. As you can see, it is still frozen. I just put a little water in the bottom of that pot so it doesn't scorch. I'm going to get my noodles in, and then while that cooks, I will be making my garlic bread, and it will be perfect and delicious and ready to go with my meal. Homemade garlic bread is so incredibly easy. I will be using homemade from scratch bread for this recipe, but I also really love to do it with some like discount bread. Any bread works fantastic. I have 4 cloves of garlic here, and I'm just going to chop those up as fine as I can. If you have a garlic press or something like that, that would work. Also, I don't mind the big pieces. In my little mason jar over there, if you can see it, I have 2 tablespoons of cold butter, and I'm just going to throw all of my ingredients into that jar and then let it kind of cook as that butter melts. It's just best that way. Alright, just sprinkle in some black pepper. I don't measure, and I do the same with just some salt. And then the next step you want to do is to sprinkle in about a teaspoon of some Italian seasoning. And then I'm just going to pop this whole jar into the oven and let that butter melt as my oven heats up. While that happens, I'm going to slice my bread. With garlic bread, you want kind of thick slices, so don't do no little bitty slices of bread. It's just better with that thick, like Texas toast style. And this is my homemade bread recipe. It is my personal recipe. It come out perfect. It has some nice give to it. It's not very crumbly. I am loving it. I'm just nailing down the recipe and the cook times and everything before I share it. But that recipe will come in the future. And here is my bread. So I'm going to take my butter mixture out of the oven. Give it just a good mix up so it's incorporated. I just try to spread this mixture onto my bread as evenly as possible. It's okay. You just want to get every bread that has some garlic and some butter and some Italian seasoning. Then you can go back with your spoon or your spreader thing like I have here and get it even on that bread. So just go ahead and dish it all out onto each bread and then go back and try to smear it out evenly. It doesn't have to be perfect to taste good. So go ahead and stick it in the oven until it gets brown and the perfect side dish to your homemade spaghetti. Declan loves the noodles plain. Not a big fan of the sauce, but he loves the garlic bread, so we'll take it. Alright, so our next recipe is a Dutch baby, and I did mixed berry jam syrup for this. I've got 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of sugar. This is vanilla going in. It should be about 2 tablespoons. I didn't measure again. 1 cup of milk. And then we're going to do 6 eggs. Yes, I said 6 eggs. I know that's a lot, but it is awesome. It adds protein to this. It's a great way to use up your farm fresh eggs if you're looking for a way to use them up. And it tastes delicious this way. So go ahead and add all 6 eggs in. Give it a quick whisk. And then, like, literally a quick whisk. I whisked it as fast as I could for about 30 seconds. I know some people just throw all the ingredients in their blender and just pulse it till smooth. I just use a whisk. And then you want to heat your cast iron skillet in your oven. You want it hot. Add 2 tablespoons of butter to that cast iron skillet and go ahead and stick it back in the oven until it's all melted. You want your butter hot and melted. Everything needs to be hot when you pour your big Dutch baby in. So go ahead and pour that in. Do not stir. All that butter you see that's coming up the sides, leave it there. It's supposed to be there. Let it cook that way. Try to place it back into your oven as gentle as possible so you don't mix that butter in. While that cooks, we're going to make our mixed berry jam syrup. Just use equal parts water and equal parts jam that you have in your fridge and heat those together on medium-low heat until it makes a syrup. It usually takes me about 5 to 7 minutes of just kind of mashing it together and letting it heat and then mixing it together and then letting it heat. And that will cook some of that water out and make you a nice, beautiful syrup. Now, I added half of my jam in at a time just to keep it from like scorching as I got it mixed into the water. So that is a great tip if you're trying to make this also. This is a great way to use up any jams that's been in your fridge a little too long and you need it gone. And it was a perfect topping for this Dutch baby. So go ahead and cook it for about 5 minutes. Once all your clumps are out, it's going to be a little thin. You need to let it cool so it will start to thicken up some. Our Dutch baby is coming out of the oven. This only takes about 12 to 15 minutes. And now once it comes out, it deflates. So let it set for 5 minutes and let it deflate in on itself. pretty funny how it just kind of folds in. Okay, I'm going to get this sliced up for my family. This one pan right here did feed all of us to the point that we were like super full, but it was so good. Declan likes his plain, so this first piece is his, and he ate that entire piece. He loved it that much. I just chopped it up for him and left it plain. He did not even want to try the berry syrup, but me and Kenneth loved the berry syrup, and it was just awesome. So I went ahead and cut ours up and then topped that with the berry syrup. It was the perfect complement. I do not put confectionate sugar on the top of mine because I don't keep it in the house. So that is why my recipe has sugar cooked into it. Other people would leave out that sugar and put confectionate sugar on the end. So just make your choice on how you want to do that. Okay, so you have to let me know what was your favorite recipe I shared this week. And let's go over our meal plan for the month. Okay guys, so for this month, it did not end on a Sunday, so this Sunday and Monday, even though it's technically not February, I'm going ahead and grouping in with February. And as you will notice through here, every Sunday and Monday I have beans and rice listed. Skip that, that's one of my litter of meat rabbits, turns 8 weeks old, so I can sex the kits and pick our breeders out of that. But all the way down, I've got beans with a pork bone here, beans and rice. Beans with pork bone, beans and rice. That gets both of my pork bones out. And then I just have beans and rice, beans and rice. And then this February 27th is Declan's birthday. He'll be 3 years old. It is not included in our pantry challenge. That is a special day for him. And we are, hopefully, if it's warm enough, going to be able to take him to the zoo. And we'll just get something to eat there or take something with us. So it is not meal planned out because I don't know what we're doing that day yet. But it is his birthday. It's a special day. And it does not count on the pantry challenge. So instead of Sunday beans and rice, I moved it to Monday. So I have Monday beans and then beans and rice. And then on Tuesdays, as you will notice, I have rice as a side for every Tuesday. Because if I'm going to bring out my Instant Pot and make rice for beans and rice, I am going to make double the rice and use it for more than one dish. Another day that I went ahead and meal planned out specifically is Friday. I have Pizza Fridays going on. So this week specifically, I have beans and rice, barbecue rabbit with rice and veg, then chicken pot pie, which is technically not actually a pot pie. I do the chicken pot pie base on the stove, and then I make biscuits and top it with biscuits. And then that Thursday, I will have meat rabbit babies, hopefully, so that's what you'll see there. And then we're going to do leftovers. You'll see leftovers a lot. Just know if we don't have any leftovers for that specific day, we'll do tuna and couscous. That's always my backup. And then Friday is pizza. This Friday I have sausage and peppers listed as pizza toppings. Kenneth and Declan prefer cheese, but I like a little bit of stuff on mine. And then Saturday we will have pulled pork with homemade rolls and fries. I'll have to pick up some potatoes for those. That will be part of my monthly food budget. Then the next week, Sunday and Monday, we have beans and then beans and rice. And then I will be doing chicken enchiladas with some rice in them. I will do pork with potatoes and veg. I like to do kind of like a barbecue pork over mashed potatoes and then vegetables as a side. The 10th is going to be interesting. You will see that it says mystery soup. There is a soup in my freezer and I'm not sure what it is because I didn't label it. It is just frozen in there, so it's a mystery. Hopefully it's yummy. If I froze it, it must be. I don't save stuff that we don't like, so there's that. Friday is pizza, and then that Saturday is leftovers. Come back to the next week when we got beans and rice, chicken and rice soup with chicken wings. So I bought some chicken wings when they were on sale a month and a half back. Kenneth is not a chicken wing fan, but the price of them was just too good to pass up. It was like 5 pounds of chicken wings for $5. And so I'm going to cook those in the Instant Pot to make its own chicken broth. And then I will shred the meat off of them and use that in the chicken and rice soup. And then I have potato soup because if I'm going to buy a bag of potatoes, we are going to have potato soup. So I've got potato soup for 2 days. I always make a big batch of it. We love it. And then pizza and leftovers. Anybody who is worried about our carb heavy dinners, please don't. We do a lot of work outside. We are trying to get our homestead together. We bought raw land, and so we are clearing land by hand and building things by hand. And so we need the carb as fuel for our body. For February, the week of February 20th, we have beans and rice, chicken breasts with rice and veg. And then for that Wednesday, we have pork with mashed potatoes and a vegetable. And then we have chicken breast with 2 vegetables over here because I had a lot more chicken breast in my freezer than I thought I did. Pizza, of course, and then leftovers. And then for the last week, we have Declan's birthday, kicking that week off. Beans and rice. Then I'm going to try to make pork tacos. That'll be fun. Chicken breast with 2 veg, pizza, and then leftovers ending the month. So if y'all have been around for a long time, it does not surprise you that you see so many leftovers in my meal plan. That is the key to cooking on a budget. You can make bulk batches of stuff and freeze them, put them up in your fridge, do something with them to make leftovers, and it will save you so much time and so much money. Imagine you can buy a 5-pound bag of rice for a whole lot cheaper than you can buy 5 1-pound bags of rice. And so I do that. I buy in bulk and I cook in bulk as well. So that's why you see so many leftovers. I do it on purpose. I love when we've spent all day outside working and all I have to do is go inside and heat up dinner real quick. And I have food to fill our bellies, because we are those people who like to, you know, kind of spend our mornings very slowly, get our act together, and then we'll work until it's past dinner time and dark outside, and then we're rushing to eat dinner and get ready and go to bed. We've just never really been morning people, and having a homestead hasn't changed that for us. It's just how it goes around here. So we do lots of leftovers. It saves us time, it saves us money, it saves us energy, because we are an off-grid homestead and we try to conserve all of our resources: power, water, sewer, everything. And so if you are wanting to live that lifestyle, make sure you are cooking in bulk. It will save you so much. All right, Declan, you want to come say bye, friends? Okay, that's all I got for y'all this week. If you were doing the pantry challenge, let me know how January went for you down below. If you're wanting to hop on in and do a pantry challenge for February, let me know that you're trying that out too. I have loved the support that I've gotten through this pantry challenge so far, and I just can't wait to keep building those friendships up. So let me know what you got going on, friends, and I will see y'all later. Somebody wanted to come say bye. Ready?
I'm ready.
Bye-bye, friends.
Bye-bye, friends.
We'll see y'all next time.
See you next time.
So see you next time.
See you next time.
You're close enough.
Go, Sasa.
Mwah.
Go, Sasa.